Okie dokie. Take two. Motivation, meditation, inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. So let's go ahead and get started and into the focus. So let's go ahead and start asking ourselves what really matters. And so when we start asking ourselves this question, we start to get into the stuff that actually really does matter. So let's go ahead and start looking at how we can utilize positivity. So how can we start getting ourselves into a place where what in front of us we're able to bypass and get to down to the point where what is going on is just a reaction of our levels of focus. So when we look inwards, we start to see that we are like a combination, just like this Rubik's cube. Now the really interesting thing about this Rubik's cube is it's not like your regular Rubik's cube. As you can see, it actually opens up into pieces. Now each individual piece fits in properly, creating a cube. Okay, now you see that? Now each of us is like this cube right here. We have our own unique way, and so each of us has the ability to focus into different things and for different things to work for us. So the question isn't necessarily how can we make this cube, but how can we fit the pieces in such a way that we can make this cube fit for us. And so we got to start to look at the strengths that we do have. Okay, I recognize that I can move this piece here. And so when we see inside of ourselves that we have that ability and that our cube is not always just a square cube, but actually it will come apart and there are pieces, then we start to recognize that each individual is very important. Now, when you start to see that there is specific differences between you, or in other words, the cube of you and this universe, you start to recognize that you are very special. Now, the things that you focus on become a reflection on the outside as you start to put your pieces together. These pieces have two parts. The first part is the value. So this is the question is, which little link is you? Are you the link or are you the picture? So when we put ourselves in a place where we have the ability to focus, when we put ourselves in such a way that this universe has the ability to utilize us, then we become this whole picture. But each individual piece is like time. So as we're going through the day, we might feel at a certain time or another that what's going on is just nobody else is feeling it. And it's not necessarily that no one else is not feeling it. It's that they are on their own journey. And this means that the whole entire link is you. So when you get to that place where what's inside of you actually shows outwards, then realistically what you're doing is you're being yourself. And that's what the part that a lot of people lose out on in this world, is that we are all very special. You all have inside of yourself the ability to focus. You all have inside of yourself the ability to grow. You all have the ability inside of yourself to get to a place. It's up to you to individually say that I am no longer a victim, that I have a victor's mentality, that I'm going to put myself in that place. And there are ways for us to be able to do that. There are places for us to go inside of ourselves, tools that we can have that can help us to liberate ourselves from these type of things. Now, when we recognize that they are available for us, that's when we start to fit the pieces together. Now, as you fit the pieces together of yourself, you're going to start to recognize that the pieces are challenges in themselves together. So, how can you utilize all challenges that you face off against in such a way that they work in your favor? So, the way in which we have the ability to do that, to allow the universe to work in our favor, is when we recognize that what we are doing is we are absorbing knowledge, that we have the ability to get to the place where focus exists. When we get to that place where the focus inside of ourselves exists, when we get to that specific place, that's when challenges start to be overcome. That's where we manifest reflections outwards. And I'm telling you, it's within you all to get to that place. I can give you all the tools in the world. I can say if you do this or that or this or that, this is what will happen. But ultimately, the only one who's going to be able to free themselves is the one who's hearing what I'm saying right now. The one who hears that it's within themselves. When you recognize that the challenges you face off against are within you, when you hear what I'm saying and you see that you have that ability, that you are not disabled mentalities, then what is happening is you are freeing yourselves. And a lot of people, they don't ultimately truly want to be free. Because if they wanted to be free, they would recognize that there is no challenge, there is no place, there is nothing that could stop them from being themselves. So when you get into that focus, when you get into that place, and you're in that dark time in your life, and the lights might not shine bright, remember that there is a light inside of you, and that light inside of you shines brightly, and that you have a light that this universe needs, and that is called knowledge, the ability to bypass the emotion, to get to the place where the reflection shines outwards from within you. I'm talking to each individual who says, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it today. I'm telling you, you're worth it. I'm telling you, you have that ability. You have that place inside of yourself, that there's no challenge too big for you, that you're meant to be here. This is a beautiful place for you. Each individual's challenges is worth it. You are all worth it. You are all sons and daughters of the Most High, and the Most High loves you. The Most High loves you in such a way that He will utilize you as a tool. He will utilize your challenges in such a way that this universe has the ability to utilize the things that you've been through. And you see that inside of yourself, know that you can get to a place of focus. You can get to a place where the external becomes a reflection from within you. And I'm telling you that you can become a motivation in this world, that this is a great time to be in, that we are in a great place and we are in a great time. And this time is your time, your place, your growth, your reflection. And you all have it inside of yourselves. You all have that ability. You all have that place. And so how can we use these things? How can we get to the point where it's no longer just a spoon feeding? How can we get to the point where we see that these challenges are worth overcoming? We have to go inwards. We have to recognize that we are enough, that you are enough. Are you hearing me? You all have that inside of yourselves. You all are enough. You all have something so great inside of you that it will shine outwards. And when we recognize that a puzzle is nothing less than pieces, we recognize that a puzzle, though seemingly impossible, is still achievable. When we get to that place where the puzzle that we have inside is so important, then what we recognize is that we are so special. I'm telling you, it's worth being here. I'm telling you, it's worth being in this world. I'm telling you that what they look at when they see you is your level of focus. What they look at when they see you is your level of reflection. And you all reflect with shining lights. You all are shining lights in this universe. And I want you to be here with me. I want you to join me in this. I want you to see this is you. This beauty is you. It's all of you, from the person who says, I don't know if I can do it, to the person who says, this is a great place to be. I am great. You all deserve to be kings and queens in this universe. You all deserve to have a place and to be recognized as a unique person to this world. This is a place for you and I. This is a place of growth. This is a place of reflection. And what you have inside of yourself is something. It's very special. It's the ability to get down with yourself, to get to know you, to be honest with the one person inside of you. And the only person that's going to be hard on you and the only person who's going to give you the ability to grow is yourselves. You better take advantage of it, because we only have one life to live. We only have one chance at this thing. We only have one ability, and I'm telling you, you're worth it. I'm telling you, you got it inside of yourself. That you can see past this stuff, that you can get, that we can all get to this place where together we have the ability to grow, where what is going on around us is just a reflection, where the reflection inside of ourselves is because we're growing. And when you see that you're growing from within you, look inside of yourselves. Ask yourself these types of questions. Who am I? What am I? What can I do with what I got? Where can I be in such a way that the reflection will shine outwards? What is the reflection inside of who I am? So let yourself be that place. Let yourself be inside of you. Let yourself grow inside of you. Let these challenges that you face off against be there for you to see what you got. You got it inside of you. You got that place to grow. You got that reflection, and that reflection is called motivation. Other people say, I don't know how to be motivated. That's because they're allowing other people to call them things. You call yourself beautiful. You call yourself strong. You call yourself a reflection of what you know about yourself anyways. When you know that what's within you is a reflection outwards, when you know what's within you shines from within you as a light, when the focus of this universe utilizes you as a tool, when the universe has the ability to see what you got inside of yourself, then we have the ability to grow. Then we have the ability to get inside of what we have. And what I'm telling you is there's no place for less than focus. There's no place for less than beauty. And as I see my friends are growing inside, I see them shining. I just want you to know, Tiffany, I have seen that you're smiling more. And I'm so happy to see you smiling with your family. I'm smiling as I'm working on this journey as well. As I'm uplifting people, share what I'm sharing with you guys so other people could see it inside of themselves. As we manifest difference in this universe, as we give ourselves that ability to find that reflection outwards, help other people so that they can see that focusing gives a reflection, and that we're here, we're meant to be here, that our families, our friends, the people within ourselves, they're all special. Those, each individual, the ability to have focus, the ability to have knowledge inside of themselves, they are blessings. And you all have that ability to get to that place. I want you all to join me. I want you to become a part of my network. I want to start a movement called All Lives Matter, not just singular matters. That we all have the ability to focus. Since we all have the ability to focus, we all have the ability to grow together. A lot of other people are trying to tear that apart, and I don't think it's right, because you are important. You all have individual families. You all have individual spirits. You all have individual goals, tasks, and each one of you matter. And we've faced off against, as a people, different challenges. We've had the ability to overcome different kinds of challenges. And as we overcome these challenges, each little victory that we've received as a country, as a people, has changed the world in massive ways, right? So recognizing that It's not just about one, but it's about each individual's family. So these tools, they're here for you. My point is that you can use them. You can listen to my videos when you're in your darkest times. You can hear what I'm saying when you're in your rooms by yourselves. When the lights are dark and the world might not shine, that's when you'll recognize what I'm there for. And that light inside will shine outwards from within yourself. When others say that you're just not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not. A reflection. You look inside. You say that I am focused. You say that what shines from within me reflects outwards. What you don't know about me, this is what you say, is that what I got inside is so great that the Most High Creator of this universe created me in such a way that I would shine out as a reflection of light. This universe would not undeniably see the reflection of the strength from within myself. I want you to be motivated from your level of focus. I want you to gauge stuff on how well one can focus. Lots of motivational speakers, they talk about stuff, but they don't talk about this. They don't talk about the days when they're in their room, when there's nothing going on, and they're in that place and they're just grinding away on their level of focus. They don't talk about the stories that they study. They just share the stories. This means they spoon feed you. This means what they're doing is ultimately they're looking for the riches for themselves. They're not looking for the riches inside of you. And I am yet but a knife in this universe. I am here to cut through all of that. I'm here to tell you, when you focus, when you allow yourself to put yourself in that positive place, when you give yourself that ability, that what reflects outwards comes from within you, that what shines from within ourselves is a reflection outwards, that each individual, if you have the ability to focus and you have knowledge inside of yourself, you can liberate yourselves, that you can no longer need to be trapped by what other people would say, because it's not about what others say, it's about what you believe about yourself. And that is a beautiful thing. That means that you are all beautiful. That means that that beauty is within you all. And that is the purpose of this, is to talk to that one person. If I can change yet but one life, doing this every day would be worth it to me. If I can save but one person who would feel that this world's not worth living in, then it's worth it to me. And I know that I'll be used as a tool. I know this universe will utilize the riches that I have inside to shine outwards from my level of focus, to reflect outwards through you all. And what will matter ultimately will be that one person who hears my message and says, I want to live. When I was inside the 24-hour fitness in Santee, Kearny Mesa, I was in and out, and I got to a place where I sat down with somebody and I started talking to them about the same exact things that I'm talking to you. And we got to a place and we kept talking, and he told me that I chose that I want to live. I want you all to live. I want you to all see the beauty that you have inside of yourselves. I want you to see that this place is for you. The level of growth is within you. The level of reflection is within you. And that you got this. This world is here for you to dominate. And that's what it's about. It's about getting to that place of focus where you absorb inwards and the external becomes a reflection from within who you are. I'm talking about looking inside, and the attractiveness comes from your level of focus. I'm talking about the people around you recognizing that when you achieve your goals and your dreams, that their happiness comes from your ability to be yourself. I'm talking to you about being who you are and settling for nothing less than that. I'm talking about expressing yourselves to your companions in such a way that they see the light of you as a tool in this universe. That this universe utilizes you as growth. That the strength that comes from within you shines beyond you. I'm talking to the one who says to themselves one day, I just don't know if I can make it. Let me tell you, you have had the ability to learn. You have had the ability to get into that place of focus. And ultimately, the reflection of motivation is nothing less than one's level of focus. Since it's nothing less than one's level of focus, that means that when you focus, you have the ability to go within you. You have the ability to see that the challenges that you face off against, you can overcome. And like that, you can put a Rubik's Cube back together. And this is you. This right here, this is you. This time I've spent making this Rubik's Cube was because I put the picture and the puzzle together. And I'm telling you, the first part of putting this puzzle together is getting the focus going. Getting yourself in such a way that you recognize each individual piece. Each individual piece that makes up the puzzle of you. Each individual piece that says that you're worth it. Each individual piece that reflects outwards from within who you are. When you identify with this right here, and you see that you are a Rubik's Cube, and that your Rubik's Cube might open up sideways, it might fit as a combination that way. But each of you have your own unique focus. When you put yourself on step 1, and you take step 2, and you step 3, take each individual step in such a way that you achieve each individual reflection. Take each individual step in such a way the reflections become tools. Utilize this universe in such a way that you pull from this universe, and what shines outwards is a reflection. When you look inwards and the reflection shines outwards, then you're using the tools of this universe. So I want you all to see that you have those kind of tools inside of yourself. You have that place, that you have that ability to overcome the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. If you can get down to allowing yourself to absorb and reflect outwards. And that first place is focus. That first place comes from within you. That first place shines outwards. That first place is when you become recognized that you can create this Rubik's Cube. You have that ability in each individual self to be like this Rubik's Cube, where each piece fits, and it can fit, and there are tools that we can use to get it to fit. The first tool is the ability to use the things that we do have and to recognize that when it's apart, that we can put it back together. When we recognize that we can put this back together, we recognize that each individual piece has its place. When each individual piece has its place, then we start to focus. And how they are together, this is the torque in the universe. This is the torque because this is a tool. Each piece of this puzzle is important, or we wouldn't be able to put this puzzle together. Each individual task that you take on in your day, each task that you recognize puts your puzzle together, puts you in such a way, puts you in a place where what from within you reflects outwards. And as you absorb that focus, as you focus on putting this puzzle of you together, you're going to see the pieces. And if you give yourself the ability to listen, study, focus on those that have given you the path to doing this, then you're utilizing the tools of this universe. And as we use the tools of this universe, that's when other people will see us as a reflection of focus. That reflection of focus will be a reflection, and the torque in this universe is called motivation. The torque in this universe is the reflection. So, what makes you you? Take the time, write stuff down. Take the time, put yourself in such a way that you make sure you have time for you each day. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself before anyone else can. Don't allow yourself to be taken to others and away from your own journeys. Be on your journey that they might join your journey with your level of focus, not to break your own focus on you. Each of you have that inside of yourselves. Each of you have that place where that internal focus becomes an external reflection. That might be through video games, singing, writing, ultimately absorbing and reflecting in such a way that this universe utilizes each of you. And I'm telling you, you're all worth it. All of you matter. So, motivation is the reflection of focus. Focus also has strength. Another reflection of focus is strength. It's the ability to continue when other people would just give up. And the only person who will be hard on you. They might be for a minute, but you live with you. So, what matters is what you focus on. If you can get to the place where you use the tools, if you use the pieces of the puzzle, if you write down the puzzle and the puzzle pieces, if you unlearn the walls that have stopped you from learning through your level of focus, then you can overcome things. The tasks that we have inside of ourselves become just a little bit more achievable. Little victories add up, Arnold Schwarzenegger's quote. Little victories add up. That means that one piece goes into the next, which 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 ultimately makes a Rubik's Cube. When we see this thing and we see that it's done, that is when you can see that writing stuff down, that is when you can see that your level of focus shines outwards like a tool. And this universe has ways of testing us. This universe has ways of getting to that place where the reflection shines outwards from within who you are. This universe says to you, do you really want this? And when it's apart, it doesn't look like it could be done. But if you can see this page before it's done, then you can achieve this page. And that is called motivation. What other people see is the reflection of your levels of focus. So you call yourself focused. You call yourself focused. Simple as that. I am focused. This is what I focus on. There is no excuses between me and me. I focus on motivation. I focus on motivation. I focus on positivity. The reflection, what people see, is motivation. What they recognize me with is the characteristic of my level of focus, my ability to get to that point where what is inside reflects outwards. And that means that I am not a spoon, I am not a fork, I am focused, as simple as that. What I have inside is a level of focus. This universe, the Most High, this universe utilization from all those around the world, hear what I'm saying? Focus is simple as that. Focus is getting the absorption into ourselves, utilizing the positivity, putting that positive force into the universe in such a way it has the ability to utilize you. And then studying those people who have hit that place too, and allowing the whole process to be a place inside of you. where what shines outwards is a reflection of what is within you. Now, when we get to that place, we start to look at what is important as progression. And as we progress, we start to recognize that there's an internal connection. Now, when we start to use this internal connection, what we start to do is we start to hit a level of focus where the universe is utilizing us as a tool. So as we become this tool, as we become this place inside, as we become this connection, as the universe, in other words, torque, tests you, it's going to give you the ability to start to get into the art of yourself. That's why internal focus is very important. The internal focus gets you to the place inside of yourself where the lessons are. Gets you to the place where you're inside of you. So the greater the level of focus, the more access to the knowledge that you have inside of yourself. So as you focus past and you start to identify with the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis, as your pieces of this Rubik's Cube come together by utilizing the tools in this universe, you start to go into a place where that torque inside of yourself starts to heat up. Now, as that torque starts to heat up, the lessons inside of you start to come to you. When they come to you, they give you the ability to learn from the lessons inside of yourselves. So as you learn from the lessons inside of yourself from your level of focus to go inwards, you will actually start to be able to break them down and gain that and bypass the emotion which has stopped you from getting to that place. A lot of times, meditators ask me, I don't know how to bypass the chatter. Well, what is going on is the universe is testing your level of focus to see if what you got inside of yourself is ready for the knowledge that's inside of you. So when you give yourself that ability to have an able mentality that focuses what exists and that knowledge is within you, you give yourself that ability to extract that knowledge inside of yourselves. So this goes to all to learn the study of the art of the knowledge inside of ourselves. When we get to that place inside of who we are, when we get to that level of growth where that becomes a knowledge, and when we start to feast on that knowledge inside of ourselves from getting to that place where the tools that we have inside of who we are become reflections, that is when people start to see that the knowledge overcomes the emotion. Now, when we break through the barriers of emotion, when we get to the place where the self-study is, sometimes the emotion is going to become a part of the process. Now, this process is just like putting yourself inside of water and getting out. Now, when you're in the water, you're swimming. When you get out of the water, you are still wet. But you know that eventually you will dry. And so, just like that, you may have emotions that you will have to overcome. And the only way to is to go all the way through them and allow yourself to experience them again. Now, when we experience these emotions, we get to a place where we overcome them. Now, in this place is where honesty within ourselves becomes a reflection outwards. When we hit this place inside of ourselves, where our focus is extracting direct knowledge, the impurities fall off of us, meaning that the emotion no longer has effect on the lesson itself. This is the place where you're the student inside the classroom. The connection here is with your level of focus, with the classroom itself, and working in such a way that you can study inside this classroom. So when you see that this classroom is very important and that the stories and the knowledge are broken up into chapters and that each chapter is an energy field, then we can use science in such a way that we can actually prove that this is possible. Now, one of the ways that it has been proven that this exists is through Einstein. He talked about mass and energy are interchangeable forces. We do happen to have a breath, and if we take a heat scanner and we scanned your body, you would see there are different color energies within your body, showing that there is proof that Einstein's statement that we are both mass and energy is scientifically provable. Now, if it is scientifically provable, then this means that this energy can be utilized like the way that we do for a battery. Now, how can we utilize it in such a way that we can break it down? Now, in India, they have started to break it down to where both the energy has the connection with the thought process, the knowledge, the focus, the ability, to the point where they're able to break down the entire human being. That means that you can overcome challenges. It means to the one who can get to the place of focus inside of themselves. It means that they can get to that place to extract the lesson from the story, that the lesson will no longer harm them. That means a lot of things. It means that we can go to the point where we become a reflection on the outside, where the vibration inside of ourselves has the ability to bypass all rules of this universe, because this universe was created for us. So what you see inside of yourself is what reflects outwards. What we see inside of who we are becomes a reflection on the outside. That is the purpose of the reflection of the self-knowledge, self-challenge, self-reflection outwards. Identification, these geniuses, Newton, for each action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, identifying that we can heal from within, that we can use these types of knowledges to overcome our challenges, that these challenges have no place but to become lessons and stories from within ourselves, to get to that place where we overcome these challenges, where we allow these energies to work properly in our bodies, and we go to the place of alpha in the world of omegas. Blessings is there. The knowledge inside of you is yours. The picture, the puzzle, the walls, the challenges, each individual one is there for you to grow. It's there for you to see. When you have you, that is a reflection outwards. What you have inside of yourselves is so beautiful. It's such a reflection, the shining light that can radiate from one who gains the knowledge inside of themselves. Can you see the light here? You are that. You have that inside of yourselves. You have that place, and that becomes the reflection. What you see on the outside is a reflection of the knowledge that you have inside of yourself, the knowledge to be honest with each individual self, with a connection with the creator of this universe in such a way that the reflection shines outwards from within you. You all have a level of focus. You all have a level of knowledge. Elevation is up to you. Elevation is how bad you want it to this universe, to the test of what it will do for you. When you see that beauty, when you see that reflection, this is called liberation. This is called knowledge and focus. And when you cradle the knowledge and the focus inside of yourself, when you connect with the knowledge, with the focus and knowledge, and when it has a whole connection in this universe, when it has a whole being in this universe, where they connect like you have a left and a right, where what you're inhaling breath and your exhaling breath is utilizable. When you're the student inside the classroom of you, when you put your whole being into it, then you start to hit the place of discipline. You start to hit the place of self-study. You start to hit the place where the reflection shines outwards from within you. When you see this, now you're on your path. That is called a discipline. That is called a place of reflection. It is a place where discipline hits the intersection between knowledge and focus, where others will see that. It will create ripples in this universe. Those ripples in this universe will then shine outwards from within who you are into this universe. They will create a connection in such a way that what others will see from within yourself is so disciplined, is so great, is so beautiful, that others will want to be around you. They'll want to see you. They'll want to have the light within you. You have that within yourselves. You have that place. You have that growth. You have that reflection. That shining light within yourselves radiates outwards. That shining light gives the ability for this universe to utilize you. And when you utilize yourself in that way, when you utilize yourself in that ability, where what's within you radiates outwards, when you're so disciplined with your level of knowledge, when you're so disciplined with your level of focus, when you're so into this person that you are, that what comes from within you radiates outwards, then this universe has the ability to utilize you. You got this. You have it inside of yourself to bypass this. You have the ability to get to that place where what's going on inside of yourself isn't too big for you, but you got to get to that level of discipline where you recognize with your knowledge and focus that you do have, that knowledge and that focus inside of yourself to bypass those challenges, to turn them into the lessons, to allow them to be the Rubik's Cube. We see this inside of ourselves. We see the freedoms inside of each individual. So what I'm asking you all to do is to create ripples in this universe, to create a place inside of yourself. And I just want to bless you all and say namaste.